Good morning. Oh, that works. Wonderful. I don't have to introduce myself. I say welcome to everyone who's here in person, but I also say welcome for all those who are there in the stream who can't make it for their several reasons, who use the advantages of staying at home or in the office. Today it's hybrid. I mean, the last 2 years changed a lot. We used to have physical only, virtual only. This year we're finally there where we wanted to have it. Having all you here, but having also the rest of the world out there. We have over 800 people from all over the world just online. Let's see how many made it. What we present here is our AI ecosystem. I had this discussion before. What is the difference to other events? And one reason is everyone here knows something about AI in various degrees. We are not here to tell you AI is there and it will come. You all know this. We're all here because for our private or professional life, we live and breathe and are active in these industries. We're all here together. And we need these yearly gatherings to connect, to update. And that is our goal, to provide you with a platform to speak, to inspire, to meet new people, and to make a little bit of the history. Yes, we are shaping the future, hopefully in the right direction. I would like to recap shortly, and I need my timer, please. I would like to recap a little bit like how this ecosystem emerged, because we all entered at a different age or time. And think about what was the year when you turned full-time AI. For me, it was 2013, 2014. And I would say this was the time when the AI winter was finally over. So for those who are younger we just know the boom. But there were many cycles before. AI is such an old topic for what? Speak about SUSE, Turing, etc., that some of us have experienced all the up and downs. But when I speak today with them, they say, oh, this time it will stay. It will not turn down anymore. And 2013 was important for me and our industry, because I would say we have the renaissance of deep learning. Even if we today have more than deep learning out there when we talk about AI in various forms, from NLP, NLG to other machine learnings, deep learning was something which was kicking in again. And what I like today is that we have here veterans with us who invented this stuff. I mean, we have here young talents who came first as a student and later as a researcher and today show their robots. But we also have those who are way longer than we are in this industry, who have seen all the ups and outs. And what we started is the rise of AI, to connect people. And I know our first meetups, and this is like the second one. The first one, I didn't even have a picture. It was 10 people in a hackerspace. But who came and who were the first in our ecosystem and who is important for us? Well, the entrepreneurs came, people with ideas. First thing I met when I went into AI were guys and, but mostly male teams, honestly, 2012, 2013, who wanted to build something amazing, AGIs and etc. And we connected them with the scientists. And the scientists are there the longest. They have seen most of it, either they're coming in new or old, but they are the evergreen. They are built this. I mean, we're speaking here about technology which is coming from research first and moved all the way into application and politics. But we also had at the first meetings the nerds and the thinkers. And I know this because when I remember the first title was The Singularity is Close, inspired from Ray Kurzweil. Today I don't feel anymore like this, but then I feel related. I finally had answers about like how to explain all this acceleration and this fast times and all this rushing into us, all these opportunities, and I finally had a concept for this. But what we did not have at the beginning was capital. No capital at all. I mean, that's why I had to start Asgard, to provide the first kind of seed funding for the entrepreneurs out there. We had no rules, no laws, no rules, no discussion. You could do whatever you wanted to do, which is amazing for entrepreneurs and is not good for companies, because they like the rules. But we also had no business, like really no business, no clients, nothing to sell. It was a little bit wild, wild west, and we didn't have any hype. No one cared in 2012 and 2013 for AI, except of those being in the field or being very, let's say, fresh in it. And 2014 to 2019, I would say these are the years when AI went mainstream. So first, we had the developers coming in, a lot of them, because machine learning was, in these years, the hot new stuff. And I have to say, developers and everyone working on tech, they are more advanced than we are, because they want to save time. They want to do more things with less. They like to today we call it data scientists, etc. But at the beginning, it was a lot of machine learners who came to us. Innovators. And I have to say, people who have a feeling for trends, and you find them in every corporation, everywhere. People, no business cards, just being there and the feeling, what's edgy currently. Seed capital finally came in. I know how hustled to get the first investors, and today we have AI-dedicated funds. The whole capital finally worked, and today AI is the #1 funding topic, which we have. And then the media came. And I say this because it was like 2018 when we had TV here and all the newspapers. Everyone wanted to write about media and a little bit about fear and pushing all these emotions. But then everyone out there knew something about AI. And when I today talk to family and friends out of the business, they all have an opinion on AI. Not 10 years ago, but today they had. And then the business came. The business comes late, but the large corporations got this. They started with the infrastructure, with the edge computing, with the hardware, with solutions, and we, as having exhibitions and so many forms of Rise of AI, tried out a lot of things, how to integrate the business and bring it together. And the last which one came were the regulators. That was 2019. Policymakers. Interestingly, none of the policymakers who wrote the laws was ever at the conference. All the others were there, but not them. So they never went to any conference they are writing these laws. And what happened was, I call it a race. We had Obama administration first, then you had China with the Sputnik moment after AlphaGo, who went heavy into AI. Almost everyone came out with a strategy, and it was the first time for me experience that a technology is driving a lot of governments to compete and figure this out. European Union was the last one to came, just after the Germans came out. We are really late with this. And, today we are where today. But also say in 2019, I started to feel this personal struggle. A friend of mine here today told me, Fabian, I will not come anymore, too many people in suits. And that was true. Because from the innovators and radical thinkers, we thought about thought inscription and uploading ourselves. They didn't come anymore. It changed. It changed to people who wear a suit today and a shirt. We are mixing this. But by heart, we are nerds, most of us. And I didn't know where to go. What's next? But I also felt losing the hope a little bit. I thought AI could be the holy grail to save society, to make us all living eternal, peacefully. And I figured out it doesn't. It is a struggle. I also realized in 2019, huge gap in education. This will come back to us. We don't have enough talents. We have a lot of people who are re-educated. That was unsolved. And also felt in 2019 that the gap was increasing. Those working in technology, it's good for us. Yes, we make money, we have jobs, we have exciting things. But for every Uber app out there, you have thousands of, I call them slaves, working for the algorithm, being employed by the algorithm, and having a whole new field of gig economy in the low-income area, which was driving with all these platforms, which we didn't touch and we didn't discuss. And especially our politics tries to avoid this topic still. And then what we also discussed back then was ethics. In theory, we discussed a lot about ethics, but I say this on purpose because it became real a couple of months ago. What is supposed to do a machine? Is a machine supposed to and allowed to kill? In theory, we discussed this beautiful, but now we have the practice over there. And then the COVID years hit us. So I couldn't figure out the struggle. I didn't know what to do 2010, 2020 and 21 with topics because we didn't host Rise of AI as a conference like this. We couldn't. It was painful. It was really painful for us. And for me, it hit me pretty hard because before I had an average of 500 to 800 meetings a year, and I tracked all this stuff, 50 international talks and flights. I was more outside of home than being at home. I was educating. I was out there, talk about AI, creating awareness, please integrate it, please have a strategy. And then all broke down. I know in March, there was zero. No one wanted, no speaking, no travel, no conferences, no awareness for me. No one wanted to listen to me anymore. And man, that hit me. Not bad, but I was like, man, my whole business life is currently zero. What to do with this? So my reaction was, I bought a forest with a cabinet. Piece of property. Forest outside of Berlin, and I just went out there. I said like, hey, we're supposed to not meet people. I don't meet anyone out there who is not invited, not finding it. So it was the perfect location, and I started there my inner journey. I started to take the energy and, how do you say, lose balance, empty your backpack of life. I went into my feelings, and first time in life I realized my compassion, my love, but also my anger and my fears and my shame, and I struggled with them, and I actually faced all of them and trying to identify it. And the consequences, I lost weight. I lost a lot of weight, mental weight, physical weight. I was feeling more free. I started to eat vegan, intermittent fasting, gluten-free, optimizing my health, how to live longer, all this, feeling more energy, feeling better. Not getting energy from being out there and spreading, but being for myself. And was, I would say, one of the best times and worst times at the same time. For business, it wasn't good. But for me, myself, and my family, it brought us all together closer. But I also put all my energy into cleaning this mess up. I cleaned the forest, physical. I planted over 3,000 new trees and other forms of plants. I today produce oxygen with my forest for 2,500 people. But I also learned so much about nature and ecosystem. Being a technical guy, growing up with computers in my youth, I love it today to have my fingernails dirty, to go into the earth and looking at this, how many ingredients we have, what all this plays together. But the most I realized is how unimportant we humans are in nature. They don't care. We are nothing. You can hug a tree and you feel great. But the tree appreciates this too, unless you don't cut it off. But we are just a piece. We're a piece of this nature. And for me, some had this before. For me, this was this wake up. I like, damn, I love this world. I like this nature. Please, let's stop destroying it. And then break was over because 2022 started with a new war. Something we didn't want, we didn't expect, something which is escalating more global and larger, but it also is a sign of all the tensions we were seeing before. China is starting to isolate itself. The Russians are having a war with the West, or in other terms, the West accepted this and is fighting back, even they don't have to. It's a moral discussions. But we also see how AI is used in the military for real. Image recognition, detection, drones, automating. And we can discuss about this, does it really work or not, but it is out there. Enough YouTube videos. I mean, just look at the use of AI for the lockdowns in China. China is really putting millions of people into lockdown, and you see the spots on the street with megaphones telling them, stay at home. If you have your Fitbit, they know you don't leave. All the cameras, all this is synced. So, I am too young to have lived under the Iron Curtain for long. So I grew up mainly in the peaceful world, which was after the wall came down. Those yesterday at the dinner, you saw 3 pieces of the wall, they are art today, something we value. But when the Ukraine war started, I looked like who's siding on what things. And everyone in blue is, I don't say on our side, but they're united. But what fears me most, or let me think, is everyone who's not uniting. And we have here the American ecosystem. And if you think the Americans are dead, each time they are dead, they come back. They are really fighters. They have the smartest and most dumb people in one country united. And the smart people don't give up. And they will come back. And they will come back with the military, with the innovation, with the companies. And for years we tried to avoid them in Europe, push them out. But this will maybe change. And that also means ecosystems growing together. Today, you can go with your smartphone to the United States and have no problem, but you don't go with your own smartphone to China anymore, because China is showing you how an own closed ecosystem looks like, with their own laws, their own data, and how this works. And it works on a beautiful dystopian way. And this is where the world turns. Europe uniting, in terms of data, laws, regulation, but also the use and application, how we want to treat AI. And I wonder how, over the next years, we convince all the rest to take our standards, to work with us, to make it compatible, or if they will tend more to China and will try to work with them, even knowing that China is thinking in their own interest all the time. And also, if you think Russia is currently a conflict for our industry, that's just the mid-level boss. It can happen, hopefully it doesn't, but it can happen that what we have with Russia one day, we'll have it with China, just because there are so many tiny islands out there everyone is caring about. And if not, well, I had this discussion yesterday with Chris, it's wonderful. He recommends buy both solutions, the Americans and the Chinese in your company, because then both can listen. But always be aware that when you use hardware and software, someone is watching at your data. Someone might have an access to the back end, and they will use it for their interest. And we are in the middle. We Europeans are eager to build a new ecosystem, and this emerged over the last 2 years when I was kind of offline. It grew. It grew a lot. We have a variety here today of many, many people from all over the fields. This piece of alu hat-wearing nerds emerged to this beauty today, and we haven't stopped. And maybe the business is still slow. We are far away from all these huge numbers of billions of turnover, or like Norway wants to have 30% of GDP driven by AI. It will take a little bit longer. And this singularity won't be 2045 maybe. It will be longer or not coming. But we are growing. We are growing, and we do this journey together. And for 2022, we have a lot of challenges still to do. So one challenge for me is trust. Trust is everywhere there, and it's missing. And we call it compliant AI and trustworthy AI. But I think trust in people is missing, or in corporations. We do not trust each other. We do not trust them. And I have seen this quite often. Lufthansa, for example, prices going up. Oh, it was the bot, it was the algorithm. Responsibility towards others. We will still have to speak about trust. But also, I still struggle. Because when I was in my forest, and I love it there, I thought okay, I wanted to upload one day. Today I want to stay outside. I don't want to go online anymore. Where will we find the middle? How can we bridge this? And we had this talk about, I call it permaculture and capitalism. And the idea of permaculture is to have an ecosystem in nature which is working on its own, where we humans are only supporting in a useful way, but everything, like a forest, is regenerating and every piece works together. And we do this as humans in an ecosystem. We have all these players and who all needs to work together to make this happening. And we figure this out. We figure out how much technology we want in the extreme and how not. My wife, she loves to have her Fitbit. It tells her everything. It helps her to live healthier and longer and sleep better. And I'm the one, no electronics at me anymore. Not in the bedroom, not in the forest. This is how we do it innerly. So maybe we have something which I call Permaculture, where we have a form of technology and our system working together, and we still find this without destroying our planet. And I say this because we do. And I don't want to finish with bad words, so we all have in our hand, every one of us, how we behave. And I personally started with my own. Eating healthy has 2 positive effects. I feel better, and less animals or others had to die for me to feed me. Overall, we also try to grow our own vegetables, trying in a small case to go tiny steps there. And every one of us can do this. We all can do tiny steps to make this travel a little bit less, eating a little bit more, open, thinking about trash, how processes work. And when we do this for ourselves, we go in our corporations and where they are, and then we have leverage. We have way more, but we have to start with ourselves first. So thank you for listening to me. Now I would like to welcome Christina on stage, because, I met Christina through a podcast about transformation and AI, and it was a couple of years ago, and I know we were in the drivery and talking together. Yes, please give her a hand, and me.
Thank you.
And what I like about Christina is, hopefully you can say, she has experience. And I finally come to an age where I'm willing to listen to those who are older than me and have seen way more than me, and I can to learn. When I was young, I thought the young, they know it all better, we have all the energy, we'll crush it, and we don't. It is the new, the radical, and it is the established ones who have seen it, who have seen various up and downs and cycles. And that's why we all listen today to her. This is now her stage.
Oh my God, thank you for the invite. I'm really honored to be here today, and Fabian. Well, I mean, may I just grab the moderator too and ask you one question before you leave and we start the Rise of AI conference with our fabulous speakers? Yeah, so you touched upon the mega trend of sustainability and impressive experiences in your little hut in the forest. But talking about sustainability and climate crisis, this is an event. People are traveling, people are eating. And I remember, I think it was last week when there was the first huge event in Germany, OMR, online marketing event. Some of you might have heard about it. There were like 70,000 people traveling back and forth. And I know that 2 of them only flew in for a 30-minute speech from the US. So what is your perspective on events and sustainability, and how can we, gathering on an exhibition ground and still be sustainable? What are you doing?
So we try to improve ourselves first before we ask others. So Veronika and I, we thought a lot about how to do this, and she's the brain behind it. Let's start with the food. What you eat is the most, it's pure energy you take. So we've tried to design the food by definition, gluten-free, vegan, vegetarian, and yes, we will have meat for you later. And it's local meat, it's from happy cows, hopefully, yeah? But by definition, we don't start anymore there. We say like only local sourcing here. But also live cooked fresh, no extra ingredients. We have 6 cooks out there taking care that what you eat is fresh, is local, and is giving you energy. So one thing is to think about like how to provide you. The second is waste. We had so much waste in the past. Everything you wear here, that's recycled paper. First step. It doesn't look as perfect as normal, but that's recycled paper, so it's used papers. Whenever you eat and drink something, we have dishes now, we have plates, and I know because yesterday we had to put 600 cups there and 600 of everything, yeah? But it's physical more menu, it's more to clean, but it's not throwing away anything too. So how we eat and what we eat is important. Well, the stream. We have 150, 160 people here today, but used to have up to 2,000 people traveling and being here. Because we didn't have a stream and there was no acceptance for watching an event online. Didn't work 2019 yet. But today we have 700, 800 people online in the stream. That is a huge impact. It means from all the world they can access here, they see us, they are with us here, but they don't have to travel. I think this balance is something which I like too. And, I say we recycle everything. Furniture's rented. Every plant there will be planted in my forest afterwards. Yeah?
In your private forest? Oh.
Unless you want to take one after the event and we can arrange this. If you want to plant it in your garden, you're free to. Whatever you don't take later, and Veronika will allow it, I will plant physical next week in my forest. Because we don't want that something is dying for us here. We want to reuse this. And, then you have the standard thing like using green energy, but that's like greenwashing, I don't think. I think how we interact and how we do it, that was the first step.
So nobody needs to be shy to grab a piece of meat later on when we have the fabulous lunch from Regional, happy, whatever, cows probably. So if there would be one thing that you would wish for this event, Fabian, I heard a lot about personal responsibility and start with yourself first, and I'm absolutely with you there. And anything else for our conversation about technology, AI, digitization? What is your main...
We have today here 2 stages, and they are my reflection of my own thoughts. This stage is full of questions. Can AI heal the world? Is AI evil? How can we fix the European AI ecosystem? I don't have the answers. So I've invited people to give us hopefully answers because I don't know them either. I want inspiration. And then we have the real problem of real AI in real companies to integrate, to scale. And we used to have 4 years ago only startups. Today we have talks about enterprise AI and scaling AI. The whole ecosystem has merged. So we have these 2 hearts, the real ones being out there or being here talking about philosophy, ethics, politics and science. And that's in like my thought. These are the two hearts and these two main topics. How do we make it out there and how do we it right? But we have to get it out there. And that's a German thing. Yeah, first thinking and then doing, or doing and then thinking.
We have to get it out there, and I'm from the agenda of today. I see we have a lot of experts here of how to get it out there, and I'm really looking forward to that. So, my recommendation would be to start the conference.
Yes. So welcome, and after me.
And thank you, Fabian, for starting us off with your very personal story and the impressions of the hut in the forest. I found it really striking. Maybe something to take up. So, and then will we never see you back on a digital screen, or can we have Zoom meetings with you in the future?
We can. I have on purpose, when I had to paint my office again, I even built a background optimized for Zoom. Literally, all the shelves, everything there, it looks like a Zoom background because this is in modern times. So at your home, you need to have at least a little piece of your back wall looking like good. Yeah, because everyone will watch.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah?
Give him a hand.
Okay.